What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Logisticalstyles coming at you with another video. And today we're going to be in the workshop working on modifying some of my road cases or one of my road cases. And I'm going to explain how I've modified my other ones. Now, if you've seen the other video I posted probably about a year ago, I was talking about hacking the case for the Rev 1. And this is the beginning of the modification. What I did was I got these XLR pass-through panels that go in through the wall of the controller case, and on the other side there's XLR connections for me to be able to connect my gear and keep it permanently connected that way. So in this case with the Rev 1, with this Pro X case, what I did was I mounted these panels and went with a XLR to RCA cable, and it's been working perfect for me ever since. I had this modification done for about a year, and that's about the only real modification I needed to do for this case. I did at one point add a microphone stand, but I wasn't really 100% sure about that, so I took it off. Now this case right here, this is an Odyssey case, and this is made for my Range 70 and one turntable, or I can use a Range 12 because that's what I initially bought it for, was my Range 12 and my Range 70. But when I swapped out and went back to the turntable with phase, this fits in perfectly. So I did the same thing here, the same XLR ports, mounted them on here. But in this case, I just drilled a hole and put a grommet in so that I could run an extension cord from a power strip into the run it out. And it looks pretty clean. I'm happy with it. But I found some things that are better. So I'm gonna work on this case right here. This is the headliner case that I got for my Pioneer Rev 5. And this one right now doesn't have a lot of modifications done to it other than the way I've packed the foam that it comes with. This case comes with a whole bunch of foam for different configurations depending on what controller you put in it, because this can hold a Rev 5, Rev 7, Rain 1, and I think one other big controller it can hold. But anyway, I'm going to do a similar modification, except instead of using those, I found these on Amazon. Same concept, except they come pre-wired. So you have the XLR panel that's going to get mounted onto the wall of the controller case, and it comes out to female XLRs that can go directly into the XLR of my Rev 5. And what I'm really trying to do is get this Rev 5 set up so that it's got everything built into it. I've got a wireless mic system that I'm going to put in here and have that permanently mounted. I'm also, even though I'm moving away from using a MacBook Pro, I am using a Mac Mini, and I found a way to get that mounted into this case, and I think it's going to be really dope. But my main device for DJing is going to be with my iPad. So I'll have power for all those devices, and that's going to be another video when I show you how I fully modify this case. But the first step is going to be modifying the XLR connections. And now for this case, I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to have power coming out a hole like that. I found this right here. This is like an extension cable that has a panel that you can mount onto the controller case. It's made for recreational vehicles and boats and other stuff like that, but I'm going to use it for my controller case. So there's a regular end that you would run an extension cord into, and then this will be on the inside of the case, and it's just the other end of an extension cord that will run to a power strip that will power my controller, the mic stand, I mean the wireless mic, and whatever computing devices that I'm using. So it'll be a small little power strip. So I think it'll be a lot cleaner than having just a hole there. And I will, if it goes well with this case, I'm going to get rid of that hole there and put one of these in there because it's just so much cleaner. Because once I have these three pieces mounted, I'll be able to get a cable or get three cables, an extension cord and XLR cord, long enough that I can run out to my mixer or and my control point, wherever my mixer and my power strip is going to be. It'll be really clean. So that's the plan. I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera up and show you how it's done. First thing you definitely have to do is make sure you keep aware of where your controls are going to be or what you're trying to reach. So in this case, the XLRs can go anywhere within this port portion of the control case. And then I think the power will also fit in there as well. So let's get it set up. I'll get this out of the way and pull out my drill. And so I'm going to use my drill. I've got a couple of hole saws I'm going to use to drill into it, and I'll show you how that's done. This one for the power is, I believe it says, where is it? It is 54, yeah, 54 millimeters or 2 1/3 inches in diameter. And this one is 25 millimeters. I'm not sure. I think that's 1 inch in diameter. But that's what I'm going to use for the XLR ports, and this is for the power port. So I'll drill the holes in, mount them up with the screws that were provided, and it should be pretty quick and easy. All right, so I got everything set up and got my tools, my hole saw, 1 inch hole saw, and 2 1/3 hole saw. Got my ports that I'm going to put in and my power. So I'm going to start with the XLRs. I also need to get the screws that they came with for mounting them, but I'll get those once I get this hole drilled. But I'm going to start over here. I think I can do, you got to really kind of plan, you know what I'm saying? So, like, how do I do? I want to have some space between the two of them, and I still want to have space for my power port. So, it's going to be looking like that. Yeah. So, this first one will be drilled here. I'm using a drill bit to drill the pilot hole through. And let's see. I wonder if I can go a little higher. And the reason I want to go higher is because there's foam right here. There's foam blocks that are in place to hold the controller, elevated and to keep it securely. So I don't want to have to cut through there, although I may have to, which shouldn't be too much of a problem with a razor blade. This stuff is pretty easy to cut through. And but maybe if I go here, start here, put the other one right here. It's gonna be a little tight for the power, because then power is gonna have to go like right here. I think that worked though. 1 2 3. Yeah, we can do it like that. So let's go ahead and get to cutting. All right, so let's go ahead and get to cutting now that we've planned it out. See where we want to go. I'm gonna start right here. And this, I'm just drilling like a pilot hole for the hole saw. I use this one to drill a hole because I think this bit is kind of weird. It's kind of funky, and I didn't want to have to fight with it. So my main goal is to get this through, and then it will grab on and cut through the wall of the case. All right, I've got it set to drill. All right, so we have broken through. Got my hole. As you can see, the XLR goes right through. Bam. just screw it down. Gonna do the same thing right next to it for the other one. And then got to remember to vacuum this out because this leaves a lot of sawdust all over the place. Now, the little insert that I drilled out got a little wedged up in there. And it's always a little hard coming out because the inside of this has carpet. So you're at some point you end up drilling through carpet and it gets snagged up. So I'm going to give you a screwdriver so I can pop this piece out and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, when the piece of wood gets stuck in there, you just got to take a screwdriver, pop it through the holes, and it eventually pops out. So what we're going to do is the same thing right here. I'm going to try it without using the other bit. Let's see how it works. It kind of grips when it breaks through the laminate. There you have it, hole number 2. This one I did slightly higher. I should have came down just a little bit. You should kind of measure when you do this stuff, but I eyeballed it, and it's pretty close. So, and it's gonna look good because it's gonna be all black and camouflaged. So there you have 2 of them in place. This one has a shorter pilot bit, so it makes it easy when it's like that. Gonna go right there. It's the carpet that makes it so difficult. Like I've got the wood out. Bam. There's the wood. I got to get some scissors so I can cut that out. And then we will bring this on through. All right, got my scissors. Let's go ahead and cut this up. So this has a little protective cover over where the wires go in. You could probably make this yourself. I'm sure you can get the supplies off of a Granger or something like that. But bam, I've got this. It's got a little port to cover up. Put this right here. And the same thing here. Remember to orient your cables correctly. Bam. Go get the screws to bolt them down and clean this mess up. All right, and so here we have it. This is the um, final product. I've got my sockets mounted on this panel right here, and then I've got my power mounted right here. This little rubber flap pops up. There's a outlet for you to plug your extension cord into, go right into the wall. You've got power. On the inside, I have a power strip that's connected to that other end, the female end, and the power strip has uh, the plug for the Rev 5. It has a power control or power brick for my iPad, and it's got 4 more slots, 3 more slots for me to be able to add some other accessories. So in case I need to add a light or anything else. And I already have hardwired in is a cabled or hardwired microphone. It's in channel 1 on the mic section. I find that it works pretty well with a regular handheld versus the wireless mics. So it works pretty well, and it's enough for me as the DJ to be able to make announcements or to do what I need to do. Then in the aux section, I have RCA to USB-C. So in case I need to play something off of my phone or somebody else's phone, maybe the client has a last minute change, I'm able to play off the phone from there using the aux input. And on channel A is the USB that goes to my iPad. And of course, my XLRs are right here, hardwired from the front of the case. So this makes things so much easier. It's a much cleaner setup. I'll show you right here. Now this is just the extension cord that I have on hand, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to look for an extension cord that has like a right angle, maybe even for both of these ports. But for now, this is good enough. They plug right in. Pop that open. This plugs in, and I have power. So this is perfect. I like this a lot better. It fits whether I'm using the X stand or if I'm using the DJ furniture, my podium. I think it works out great. I'm going to definitely recommend people do this. Like I say, I do it for all of my cases. So every case I have, I can be plug and play. And I do really like the way this port came out for the power. So I'm going to take the case for my Rain 70 and turntable, and instead of just using that hole to pull out a power strip cord, I'm going to go ahead and put one of these in there so I can just plug right into the case itself. I love this thing. It's a great addition. This case itself has a shelf that goes in front of it or on top of it, so I can use it with or without. I do kind of like using it without. If I use my big podium, which already has a laptop stand, I'll use it without the laptop tray. But either way, this works out really, really well, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. So if you like stuff like this, you want to see more stuff like this, hit like, hit subscribe, comment below, tell me what you think, and we'll keep the conversation going. But anyway, until the next time, this is your boy Logistical Styles, and I am out. Peace.